It's Retro Podcast with your host, Retro Lion. We talk music, entertainment, films, and more. And now, here he is, Retro Lion. Welcome back to Retro Podcast. I am the host, Ben Cena, also known as the Retro Lion, and we are back for season 4 with our first celebrity guest, Patricia Velasquez. And welcome to Retro Podcast.
Hello, nice to meet you. So happy to be here.
Nice to meet you
Great,
as
great
well.
podcast. Congratulations.
Thank you. And you've been very busy lately. You've been at some Comic Cons. How's that been?
Amazing. Really. I just actually came back last night late from another one in Canada. And, I started doing this last year, the year before we did a couple, and last year we did a few. And it's been so incredible to share with the fans, to hear the stories. Ben, people we go to the Comic Cons and the fans, they thank us so much, but we have to thank them because the amount of gratitude and warmth, it just keeps you going. It's those moments that make you go in the moments when you're low. I know I'm inspiring somebody. And I know this person, I remember what she said to me, what he said to me. And that is, it really it fulfills us a lot.
And what part of Canada was this Comic Con located?
Yesterday was Calgary. Fun
Got
boy.
it.
So great. So great.
Yeah. I don't live that far from Canada, so I was just curious.
Oh, where are you?
So I'm based in Ohio. Well, I'm actually
Oh,
2 hours and 45 minutes away from the Ontario part of Canada.
amazing.
But yeah, when I hear Canada, I'm like, wait, which part of Canada was it? Was it Ontario? Was it farther out in Canada?
Right. Well, it's a big, big country. I love Canada so much. I love
Same
Canada.
here.
I love Canadians. I love what they stand for. I just
Mhm.
they have a big place in my heart.
Yeah. Me and my dad are a huge fan of the maple syrup that they make in Canada.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
Who isn't?
Yeah. Are you a fan of maple syrup?
Yes, I am. On pancakes. It's my
Same
thing.
here. And waffles. You can't forget waffles.
No, every once in a while. Waffles is it's a bit of a, I mean, pancakes are ready for a Venezuelan like me. So it's something from it feels, but we grew up with, but it's not from our culture. Now, waffles
Understood.
is really not culture. So it's a treat.
Yeah. They're special. And I was rewatching The Mummy yesterday, the first Mummy movie, and you play Imhotep's love interest in the film, and
Anck-su-namun or Anck-su-namun.
yeah. I'm
Mm.
sorry, I can't pronounce it. It's hard for me to
It-
pronounce the name.
Ben, during the film, the pharaoh called me an Anck-su-namun or something like that. Anck-su-namun. The mummy called me Anck-su-namun. So there are all kinds of way of saying it.
And what was your experience getting to work on that movie?
Oh, it was incredible. The Mummy was a movie that changed my life. It really taught me the importance of having certainty and being kind to everyone because the way I ended up in that movie was because destiny. I went to have a general meeting with a casting director at Universal Studio. Her name is Joanna Colbert, and we had a general meeting. And then I hear the day after that I'm going to London to shoot a movie called The Mummy. It was so fast. And then I find myself uh, coming into Shepperton Studios and getting that makeup that took 10 hours to put on, four people drawing on my body. And I was there for not that long. And my surprise is when The Mummy comes out, it's such a huge film. I was extremely thankful. But then The Mummy 2, I get a call from Stephen Sommers asking me if I would consider being in The Mummy 2, and then that he had wrote a much bigger part for me. And that was, it really taught me the power of having certainty and appreciation. And definitely when you work hard, you just never know how it's going to come. You just never know. But it
Very
always,
true.
yes.
Yeah, I've spent 6 years working on this passion film for quite some time and finally getting it made this fall. And yeah, I mean, we both
Yeah,
work hard.
congratulations.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Congratulations. We all know how challenging it is to make a film.
Mhm.
Uh, but it is the only way, and this is what I say to a lot of people, and that I'm actually trying to do myself, to really get the work you want is by producing your own, writing your own, and just throwing it out there. Just try to get it done yourself. Because no one's really going to write parts for you. I mean, these things like the mummy, or they're sort of one off when you think of it, but the chances of it are so slim that why have to leave it to chance? Why not make it happen yourself?
This is very true. And which, from out both Mummy movies, which one would you say was the most challenging one for you, especially
Oh,
like was both of them challenging or was one of them
believe it or
more challenging?
so the Mummy Returns, I have a very big role. The Mummy one, I have a very small role, and it's very fast. But the Mummy one was harder than the Mummy two, and only because of the makeup. You know, 10 hours standing up with four people drawing, and then I couldn't take the makeup off. So every day they had to retouch it between 2 and 4 hours. They had a special chair for me and special shoes. So it was more challenging physically than anything else. But that was hard on me. I was sick when I came back from the painting on my body. But no, I had a little mark on the back where the skin could breathe, but I still got sick. The Mummy too was challenging, but it was fun, and I didn't have to get that makeup on the body. So it was just we train hard. Rachel and I trained for 7 hours a day sometimes for 2 months. And we got very competitive. Ben, we weren't supposed to do the fights ourselves. That's why we're wearing masks. And have we got so competitive. I remember we trained with a guy named the Body Doctor. And Rachel and I just really became competitive, friends, friendly, very friendly. Actually, we became very good friends. And we end up doing the fights ourselves. That's why the only thing I didn't do was the backflip. And that's why when we're doing the fight scenes, especially the major fight scene, halfway through the scene, I take my mask off, and she takes her mask off because it's like it's not being played by our stunt doubles. The only thing I didn't do was the backflip. Everything else I did myself.
That's really cool. I wish I could be on a film set because I mean, especially if it's the Mummy, I mean, it's like being on the set of Indiana Jones.
Yes, I keep hearing that. It's so interesting. Even yesterday at the convention, I keep hearing Indiana Jones. It's magic. The whole process was magic. I mean, we shot in Shepperton Studios in the UK, and then in Morocco we shot. It's the first time a film was shot there in a place called Erfoud, on the border with Algeria. So the whole town was there for the mummy. And it was big, but we had big sandstorms, and sometimes we had to spend hours inside our trailers waiting for these sandstorms to go. It was tough. It was tough, but it was amazing. It was wonderful. And you know what was the best, Ben? That the crew from the first Mummy was the same crew of the second Mummy. So it was a reunion. Here we are all that have worked on the first Mummy. Now we're all meeting Morocco. Can you imagine the party? It was crazy. Of course, everybody worked really hard. And then we moved up to another place called Ouarzazate. And then Ouarzazate became, after the Mummy, the number one place in the world for movies of desert, like Gladiator, all those films. They have a big studio there now, and it's because of the Mummy. So yeah, we just have incredible experiences from that film. That's why I think the film has such an energy, because it has it shows every holiday. It's sort of a classic, and it's such a good combination of joyful horror, family, adventure, action. It's incredible. After 25 years, the film still plays really, really well.
Have you been on the
Oh,
ride at Universal Studios?
I've never have. No, I've never been. But I tell you, I did a movie with a girl, a wonderful girl, that actually played me on the Mummy ride.
Oh,
Uh, and it was so wonderful, wonderful actress, by the way. And sh yeah, no, I have, I'm not a, it's crazy. I'm not a big fan of rides. I
really?
never have been. Yeah, it's not my thing. Not my
And
thing.
I'm the same way because like I mean if you're gonna do rides, I'm more of a Disney World person. Like Disney World, I
Uh,
love Disney World no matter what. But when it comes to, I mean, Universal was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't need to do it again because it was just for me it was just more of a one-time thing. It didn't have what Disney had. Where I mean everywhere else, I mean it doesn't have the right because like I was never a fan of like I mean here in Ohio we have two amazing theme parks, which is Kings Island and Cedar Point. And the roller coasters down there, like I can't even do the roller coasters because I'm terrified of heights. Well,
oh, really?
at least
Okay.
those kind of heights, like heights where like the roller
Yeah,
coasters.
drop. Same,
Yeah,
same,
I
same.
can't do this. Like the London Eye, that's fine. I have no issue with the London Eye,
No, I did that. I
but
did
it's
that.
just roller coasters that have like really steep drops that are like really high, like Cedar Point rides. That's yeah, I can't do this. So Disney's the only rides I can do. And plus, I'm more of a person that would rather go experience world history because I'm a big fan of world history.
Oh, that's extraordinary that you do that. I love world history too.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't like rides either. It's
yeah.
just not my thing. But it's wonderful that some people like it. I just don't like, same, don't like speed down. That's lack of control. I think it just doesn't go with me.
Yeah. It that and I also have a very weak stomach, so that's the other reason why I can't do it.
Oh, okay. No, not
Yeah.
pretty.
But my family and I are going to be taking a trip to Japan in a couple of
Oh,
years. So looking forward to seeing the history in Japan,
you
depending
know,
on where we go.
it's you are going to love Japan. I lived there for a few months, and I was there day year before last again. It is an extraordinary country, and you know one thing that you will notice there, and when I lived there, it taught me so much. It's the only country in the world where I've been where they use the clock fully. So when we had, I was, yeah, I started my career as a model, and I was sent to work in Japan for months. And they will go, well, somebody's picking you at 3:17 p.m. And then you are going to go work, and at 5:38, you're gonna leave the studio. So they actually use the clock fully. It was so odd.
Interesting.
It definitely made me be someone who's always on time now.
That is really interesting. Speaking of Disney World, I actually got to see your co-star Brendan Fraser, who we all know as the main character from The Mummy, at Disney's Epcot because me and my family went to Disney World for Christmas last year, and they have this candlelight ceremony, and Brendan Fraser was the celebrity guest narrator at the candlelight ceremony.
Wow, that's amazing. I am so happy for Brendan. He's such an extraordinary human, and it is what happened to Brendan. It should be a symbol of hope for everyone in this world. That it doesn't matter how challenging things might get, there is always hope. Things can
Very
always
true.
turn around. I've been doing a little bit of keynote speaking and speaking about certainty and how fear leads to certainty, certainty to courage, courage into action, action into wisdom, and wisdom into change. And I think Brendan is a classic for us because that to have that courage to keep going, to have that certainty, to know that you're talented, that you're a good human, and eventually things turned around. Because the truth is, Ben, that certainty doesn't tell you the outcome, but it definitely gives you the courage and the reason to step into the fear and to step into into who you are supposed to be.
Mhm.
Um, and then, yeah, that this is a story that definitely makes me so bright when I think of Brendan. Yeah.
The keynote speaking that you give. So what exactly are these keynote speakings?
Well, I life, how I go is like life challenges can keep us living stuck or unsure, Ben. You know, afraid of the outcome or the next step that we should take. We ask ourselves, what if we make the wrong decision? What if we fail? But these are all feelings based in fear. And fear, wow, fear can paralyze us. So, what do we do in the face of fear? What can we tap into to help us move forward? And that is what I call the inner certainty, that deep, deep connection between your purpose, your values, and your everyday decisions. So, yeah, these are the elements that I base my life on through my life history. I talk about how I grew up having no water and living in the 15th floor, having to no elevators at work, so having to carry the buckets of water upstairs, to becoming a supermodel, to then becoming an actor, then writing a book to tell my story and living my truth as a way of inspiring people. And then creating the foundation that I started that has helped over 1 million people in Venezuela, which is where I come from. And by the end of the keynote, I would hope that you leave the room certain,
Mhm.
certain of your truth, certain of who you are, and wanting to step into. If we don't do it now, when are we going to do it? I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right?
I mean, you don't know what the future holds.
Yes, yes. But if you base your actions and your values in everything you do, you're not going to care. Yeah, of course, you're going to do something because you want an outcome. But because you have that certainty that what you're doing is right, like you shooting that film,
Mhm.
or you doing this podcast, or me talking to you and being excited about it, doesn't matter the outcome. The outcome is the outcome that is supposed to be. And most people, we don't do that. So I want to help people because it has helped me.
Well, this show is actually to help inspire young artists and artists like me to get their foot in the door and get the word out there. And that's the whole point of the show. Because the point of the show when I started, like, you think about all these other talk shows like Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Kimmel, they all focus on just like the A-listers. Well, this show just focuses on everyone. It doesn't matter whether you're famous or not famous. The
Yes.
important thing is to get the word out there and to show others how to inspire the creativity as you do.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ben, you have such a wonderful venue through this show, and you have achieved a great following
Oh,
because
thank you.
you're speaking from the heart. There's no when I heard you right away, I thought, yeah, I want to be there. So at the end of the day, especially nowadays with everything that's going on in the world where there's so much division, it is most important than ever now to have a community. And this is what you do. You're bringing this community together. So through your example of the things that you do, you know, that's where you're going to achieve. And this is what I ask to people. I ask to people sometimes, what is that thing, Ben? What is that thing that drives you every day? When was that last time that you ask yourself if the choices that you're making are reflecting your values and your purpose or someone else's? Because what happens is that sometimes we end up living other people's lifetime, that timelines, or other people's dreams, and then we lose our own. But our certainty that lives inside of us, and all we have to do is see it again. And I'm sure, like for me, I was very young. I was carrying buckets of water upstairs, so very young, at a very young age, I had that certainty that I had to do well in my life so I could take my mom out of that apartment and take her somewhere where we could go, somewhere where there will be water, or we didn't have to carry those buckets of water upstairs. So that's when my certainty sparked, right? So I remember that moment, and I asked, do you remember when was that moment that something spark that gave you, that's what I want. This is what I want to do. And if you don't, it's okay, because it's no wonder that we'll lose our side of our certainty, because there's so much pressure. It's all so loud out there. We have endless to-do list, expectations, and so many distractions that are pulling us everywhere. So, and one thing, Ben, the first thing we take off our list is ourselves.
Mhm.
We put ourselves last, and then we are basically reacting to life instead of leading. And when the opportunities show right in front of us, sometimes we don't see it. We don't see them clearly. So it's my hope, it's my purpose, my certainty that we will be able to reconnect with our uncertainty and start creating the the kind of life that we would like to have. And I went on a tangent, but uh,
Don't worry about it. That's what we're here for. Yeah, my
yes.
my friend Naheem Garcia, who plays the janitor in the Christmas movie The Holdovers, he's been on the podcast twice, and the first time he apologized for going on a whole rant and story. And I said to him, "Hey, this is what you're here for. This is where we get the word out."
Yes, yes. No, it's really, really, really wonderful. I think, you know, I feel that us having an opportunity to connect with our friends and who everybody that is listening to you, if you can just say that one thing, just one thing that might affect them, it might change their lives. Because I get so much love and appreciation from the fans when I'm out there that it really fulfills me in a way. Because I heard so many stories. I remember this one young girl who told me, beautiful girl, reminds me of my daughter. Just they look very much alike. And she said that when she was little, that she had mental issues. And when she was little, like major, major high anxiety. She remembers being 5 years old, 6 years old, and hiding behind the couch while her parents used to watch The Mummy because it was their favorite film. And The Mummy Returns. And she at that point was not diagnosed. And she started as a form of anxiety. She will come out and she will recite the lines of The Mummy in Egyptian. And that's what calmed her. When she ends up being taken to the doctor by her family, the therapist said to her, as she started growing up, what what makes you what makes you what calms you down a little bit? And she said, the mummy, the lines of the mummy. And up until today, the therapist has said to her, whenever you feel, just keep and say the lines. If that's that's what works for you, then keep doing it. Isn't that great?
Yes,
Isn't that great?
it is great.
How can that not make you feel uh, grateful?
Mhm.
So yeah, this is the stuff that motivates me very much. And so now I love when I go and do the Comic Cons or have any opportunities to share with the fans.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah, I
Uh,
definitely think we have like that key to help us calm us down. Like when you're saying that her daughter's the way that calms her down is the movie The Mummy. It's funny because I have a movie as well that calms me down, and
oh yeah,
that's a Disney Pixar movie called Turning Red. And if you haven't seen it,
yeah, I'm gonna see it. No,
it's well, anything that Pixar does is animated, hands down. But Turning Red is about this girl, this Canadian girl, and the movie takes place in Canada, and she's cursed. She has a family curse that when you turn angry, she turns into a giant red panda. So it's almost like the Incredible Hulk, but instead of turning into the Hulk, it's a giant red panda. But the message that the movie teaches you, I mean, it's okay to be angry. Like everyone gets angry, everyone gets frustrated, but it's be careful how you do it. Like, because sometimes the anger that you let out, that could get you in trouble. And that's what the movie teaches you, which is why it's one of my favorite Disney Pixar movies. I mean, it doesn't beat Toy Story. Toy Story is my all-time favorite one,
Oh,
but
I love it.
Turning Red is the best one.
I've never seen it. I promise I will see. Of
Yeah.
course, I've seen Toy Story, but I will see it. Well, Ben, it's so great. It's so great. Do you get out to the convention sometimes or not?
I really want to open a booth at a convention. It hasn't happened yet. I was hoping to last year, but when Comic-Con happened in Ohio, I was in Disney World at the time, but
Okay.
I'm really hoping to open a table at a convention down the road to promote my work, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Well, you should. Such a good
Yes.
community. So fun. I
Hey, you
love.
gotta let me know when you come to Ohio's Comic-Con.
Yeah, I don't have that in my schedule. I know I'm going to do so I have a few. I have a few this year.
Yeah, but anyhow, we have one last question because the interview is almost over, and our famous question is we actually have two.
Mhm.
My mom always has the best questions, and she wants to know if you have a favorite board game.
Favorite board game. Um, I don't play board games very much. I didn't really grow up with them. I played, what's the word in English? It's a classic one that has the houses that you buy the buildings that it's the most famous one. That's the one I grew up with. But I don't know the name in English. You know that you buy property and then you buy your mom for sure knows.
Is
And
it
then
Monopoly?
yes, yes,
Good
Monopoly.
one.
Yes, Monopoly. That's it. That's it. Um, yeah, I played that game very much, but I have to tell you a story. So I love it so much. And the night before the big earthquake in Los Angeles in Northridge, I was in New York and I was on my way to Australia. So I had to spend the night in LA. And that was the night of the earthquake. And I was actually staying in the valley. In that night, we have played Monopoly. That's it, right? Monopoly. And we had played Monopoly. And we left everything at the tables in the living room of my friend where I was staying. And the one thing I remember about the earthquake is after it passed, everything from the Monopoly was all over the place. So I've had a really hard time playing the game again. Maybe I played it once or twice after that, but I have to get over that fear because earthquakes are my fear. They're
Same
my
here.
thing. Same here. Oh, okay. Well, then you understand. I'm sure many people that are hearing us are feeling the same way. But it's a fabulous game. Fabulous game.
I mean,
Because
I've never experienced an earthquake. We don't get them. We don't get them as much in Ohio,
yeah.
but I mean, I just can't imagine what it's like to experience an earthquake. Like that's my biggest fear. Actually, my biggest fear in Ohio, we do get tornadoes in the springtime, so
Yes.
that's the biggest fear.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's just not knowing when it's coming.
Mhm.
Now we have the app that says it gives you some seconds, which is good. Now, if the ad goes and
Really helpful.
you can run out. Um, but yeah, I've been in places where tornadoes and when tornadoes come by close, it's pretty scary. But anyway, let's talk about positive stuff. I'm sorry that I sent us in the wrong path. Tell your mom. Sorry that it took me a little bit long, but that's definitely my favorite game.
Thank you. And for our famous question, do you have a favorite retro product? It could be a video game, it could be a movie, it could be a toy, it could be food. Because I mean, hey, Pop-Tarts count as retro product.
They do. Does Cheetos count?
Yes, Cheetos are
Yeah,
perfect.
it's terrible. I love Cheetos. Let me tell you, I
Mm.
was sick. I was in Hawaii a week ago and I got so sick. And then I started feeling better. And my best friend was there and my partner was there. And they both said, even as sick as I was, if you want to make her better, give her a Cheeto. And they brought me Cheetos. I couldn't eat them. But yeah, it's terrible. I mean, you can imagine what that does in your stomach. It's gotta be terrible, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
For me, it's Pop-Tarts. Although
Pop-Tarts.
one thing I will say, and I never really played video games. I don't have time to
Yeah.
play video games, and plus they weren't really my interest. But I do love Mario.
Oh, you love,
I
oh, I
could
love Mario. Oh, I
I
love
could
Mario.
definitely
Oh,
imagine
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Emotep and Bowser
Oh, yes.
getting along
Oh,
because
yes.
they're both all they
Yes,
want is power and to take over the world. I
that's
mean,
it.
you put those two together, whoa, that's a fright show waiting to happen.
That's the one question I get all the time. Power or love? I think Imhotep and Anck-su-namun, they have love and they wanted power, but they had love. They just didn't make the right choices. And I
Yeah,
think why people like that story so much. Well, then, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations on your film. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see it. Make sure you post it, and all of you make sure to watch it when it comes out. We are all going to help you support it. So give a
thank
shout
you,
once it's out so we can all help you put it out there and get a lot of views, a lot of eyes on it.
Patricia. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you.
so
Thank you. Thank you.
much. Thank you. Thank you. Big, big hug. And I
Yes.
hope to meet you in person soon.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify and follow us on Instagram. See you next week.